Hello, cruel world. It is Ninja Chortle, and we're back with another custom made action figure. Back into the anime of things. My Hero Academia's very own Momo Yaoyorozu, aka Creati, one of my favorite characters from My Hero Academia. She used to be my number one, but then her girlfriend just kind of came out of nowhere, and she's my number one. But more, we'll talk about Kyoko later. Momo here is our recently created custom of that series, and again, as always, I'm pretty happy how she turned out. Things could have been better. I could have done some things differently, and I wish I did something very differently with her belt, but we'll get into that. She does have pretty much what you expect out of Momo. So let's talk about this build, and we'll talk more about her accessories and all those other things, and do a comparison of other My Hero Academia customs that I have made, because it's getting kind of fun and a little crowded over there. Anyway, let's start with the bottom. Her boots are her boots. She just has pretty standard boots. I should have grabbed that Storm figure. Completely forgot that she had boots. But yes, these boots are from a Storm. Again, I use Marvel Legends parts and pieces for everything that I make, if not, a custom made piece. So these boots are from a Marvel Legends figure, the Punk Storm, the 80s Storm, whatever. Although these are made of resin, I made these myself, cast them, and these are copies of that Storm boots. So those work really well, and then the rest is just painted on. The legs, these lower legs are just your standard legs from any old Kate Bishop style figure. For the ladies, they're typically the same for all of that. Nothing special going on there. The thighs, just the thighs. So the legs and the knees, the lower legs and the knees, again, are from a standard Kate Bishop, like I just showed. The thighs are from a figure like this, like a Moira, or this one is Jean Grey. So just the thighs are on this figure, and all of it repainted, of course. Again, the torso is a standard Kate Bishop, same sort of thing. So if you are talented, or just how you make customs, and you just like using a whole Kate Bishop thing, and you crack it open and you do all the things, and you just paint this instead of swapping legs like I did, you can use these legs. These legs are fine. But in general, I usually don't like using these legs because they're so muscular and scrawny looking. Where the Jean Grey, the Moiras, the Gwen Stacy, these thighs, they are a little smoother. They're not as muscular. They kind of look a little fuller to me, but maybe that's just my eyes. But they definitely aren't as muscular, and I didn't want that for Momo, and I don't generally use those legs. There'll be very rare occasions where I would use those legs that are on a Kate Bishop over using legs like these. But that's just a personal tangent. Let's talk really quick about the staff. So this weapon, I did not make that. This is me, and again, like kind of a really good timing sort of thing. This is the staff from the Athena figure from the Eternals, the MCU Eternals, the Target exclusive, I believe. Athena has a staff weapon, and it has like a little moon crescent or something on the top of it. This is that staff, and you can actually kind of see maybe some of the details right here that are on that. I didn't sand those off or whatsoever, so I just cut the moon part off of the staff, sanded prime paint. That's it. The only thing about it is the one side of it, like this, I believe this is the bottom part of it, is thicker than the rest. Down here, this is a lot thinner, so she has to hold it on this end because it'll just slide right through her hands otherwise. But that is all that it is just that staff. So the belt, though, that is a fully custom made belt. It's just a piece of resin that is very flexible, that I was able to It's just a strip of it, and I was able to just glue it together. And it's not glued onto her at all. It is actually, I wouldn't say it's loose because it's not loose. It's very tight on her body, so that way it doesn't fall off. However, that's kind of where the issues lie as well, but I'll get into that in a second. The shelf is also a custom piece as well. It's the same kind of plastic, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I did make that shelf and glued it onto the belt after I glued the belt together. And then the book comes from a Gwen Stacy figure. So if you have any of the Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane retro carded Spider-Man figures, this is one of those books, and I just repainted it, and it fits on her bookshelf just as I hoped it would. But the actual belt itself is and has been problematic because again it is really tight on her, so it doesn't fall off. It's kind of, the ridiculous design of anime characters and stuff. Like she in the show and the manga, whatever, when she bends down or whatever, the belt bends with her. It's made of cloth, most likely in the show and in the anime and all that stuff. But this is made of plastic, and it's, even though it's flexible, it's not like easily going to move out of the way. So I really can't move her legs a terrible much. I'll worry about the book later. So I can a little bit, like I can move them, but not a whole lot. So she's not going to be like doing much anyway on my shelf as is. But I, just because of the belt, I had to put the belt on bottom ways. So I put her torso together, and then the belt went on up this way, and then put the legs on. Just because it's too tight for me to do it after the fact, put the legs on and then the belt. And then when I did that, I actually rubbed off some paint on her chest. I had to repaint it, her chest, her stomach. It rubbed off paint there. And if I even wanted to take the belt off, which I definitely don't want to do that, if I ever did, I have to take the legs off first, and then it would be just enough clearance to get the belt off. So hopefully I won't ever do that or need to. And I don't want to ruin the paint job that's there, which sucks because there is paint detail. Like you can see some of this white on the side, but there's also some red in there too. You can't see it down there, unfortunately. There's some darker red stripes in there, so it is there. Any Momo fans looking for that, it is there, but the belt is a little too big, really. I should have made it a little bit shorter, just a little shorter, so that way you can see some more of that detail, and a little less thick, just a slightly less thick, and would have been pretty decent. But I need it to stay in place regardless, because either that, it will just fall straight down, or it would be too high on her, and I didn't want to glue it onto her either. So, a whole lot of stuff there. It was really tough, but it ended up working out. Let's go to the arms. Just regular standard arms on any, regular Kate Bishop style arms in your regular figure. Just painted all. There's nothing special. I did give her fingernail polish, so she has red fingernail polish, and that's all about a special there. Let's talk about the main topic of conversation with Momo for most people. So this upper torso is from a Mockingbird figure, but Mockingbird's upper torso doesn't look like this for the most part, so I had to do some customizing. So the whole inside of the chest, like all of that, is usually like, there's plastic there, so I had to Dremel all that down, and then so for the most part, like the outside of her chest is like the same. The outside of her breasts, I should say, is the same as the Mockingbird, but the inside and all of that is just sculpted to enhance her as well as give her the good shape that she has. So that is mostly epoxy sculpt in there, and then this white pieces, that's all sculpted going down her shoulders and around her chest and all through the back as well. That's one thing about the Mockingbird, and also Domino. If you don't have Domino, is about the same thing. This is the same chest. It has all these nice little cloth ripples here, so that really works out. So that's all just a part of the natural sculpt of that piece. And then all this white painted sculpt is my epoxy sculpt there. Also a piece of plastic here for whatever the heck that strap is on her chest. It's supposed to be. It's there. Just a piece of plastic. The collar is one of the reasons why I use the Domino Mockingbird piece, because it already has that collar that is just like Momo's. So that's just a part of that build from a Marvel Legend. So that ended up working out pretty good. As far as the rest of her goes, her face didn't come out perfectly. Just painting is difficult, especially in the eyes. But for what it's worth, her head is a silk head. Again, another copy, a resin copy, because I'm not buying that many silk pieces, and I've actually used silk quite a bit lately. But this is the head of silk. Painted lips, eyes are dark gray color, and then the main part of her hair, the thick part of it at least, that's all sculpted on, just giving it some style there. This piece right here dangling in front of her face, I believe that's from an X23, and I just cut it and fitted it there to come down off of her face. And then her ponytail, which is kind of not really a ponytail from the way I did it, but for what it's worth, I wish I could have made it more fuller like her hair naturally is. But for what it's worth, I think this is passable. So what these are 3 pieces of ponytail from the Lady Deadpool figure, just like the end tip of them. I cut them and just shaped them so that they would glue onto the back of her head, and then painted them black. Use a little extra epoxy sculpt to help shape and also keep it firm and stiff right on the base here, and just blend it in with the rest of it. And once it was painted black, it looks like it's almost naturally a part of her hair. But yeah, her hair is supposed to come out this way, this way and that way. But it's only 3 pieces, and I didn't really have a perfect game plan to make Momo's hair look accurate. So this is as close as I could get with the pressure of performing on the line. And I think it still looks decent. It's just not exactly anime accurate or manga accurate, but it's still recognizable as Momo to me, and it works out for me. So yeah, that is the build for Momo Yaoyorozu. Again, one of my favorite characters. I'm glad I was kind of lollygagging on this because I wasn't sure how well it would turn out. But once I started painting, because I was gonna take like 2 or 3 days to paint it. But once I started painting the red, I was like, oh, I think I can do this tonight. And I just blitzed and finished it all in one night. It still took like 7 hours, but whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a quick comparison of other My Hero Academia customs. I'll keep the book off to the side for now. Of customs that I've made, and then we'll get out of here. I'm realizing I made like all of the tallest women in My Hero Academia first, like literally the tallest ones. Midnight, Momo, and Nana Shimura. Nana, I mean, we don't really know a lot about canon heights for anyone that's not in class 1A, but for the most part, Nana Shimura is like a Wonder Woman analog, Wonder Woman Superman type of thing, and she's supposed to be pretty big and buff. So I made her relatively tall, and I believe Midnight's supposed to be pretty tall, although I think I made her a little thicker than she's supposed to be, but I don't really care. I like the way she looks. I'm super into that. And then Momo, she's thin. She is tall. She's supposed to be 5'8", and then she is as tall as she is because of the boots. So she's just a hair shorter than Nana right now, but because she has these boots, she would be even shorter than that. She has heels as well, so she should be shorter. She looks the tallest, but she's also closer, so there's all of that. Anyway, but yeah, I'm very happy with My Hero Academia stuff so far. None of it's perfect. Again, I will always say that about anything that I've made. Nothing I ever do is perfect, but I'm happy with what I have. And speaking of which, I will be having more. I will continue to go on this journey with My Hero Academia Customs. The next one, as I briefly mentioned earlier, Kyoka, I believe, Jiro earphone jack, excuse me, will be the next one that I make so I can have her girlfriend. I'm very, very, very excited to make that. It's going to be a little while, a couple weeks to a couple months from now, but earphone jack, Kyoka Jiro, will be the next My Hero Academia custom that I make. And after that, I think it's Mount Lady, but I could be wrong. So we're gonna get some shorter characters finally. So from My Hero Academia, I should probably no, I don't want to touch that. She's gonna fall over. Anyway, but yeah, the Midnight. She looks fun. She was fun. Nana was probably my funnest one. I really like. I just wish her hair could be a little bit more accurate, and I didn't mess up her face. But still, really love the build. Big, bulky, and Momo. I will be making a class like a uniform version of most of the characters, most of the girls, I should say. So Momo included. So I'm very excited to work on that eventually. I just don't know when that's going to happen. Probably quite a while, because as far as the rest of Class 1A in their costumes, doing Jiro next, and then I'm not going to do Ochako because of her boots are just impossible unless I can figure out a way to do that, as much as I really, really want to. But I'll probably do Mina after that as well. And Sue, I love Sue so much. Once I figure out how to do her feet, I'll probably work on the rest of Suyu Asui. So, and then after that, we'll see. I want to do Kendo, which is like her other girlfriend from class, was it 2A or 1B or whatever the other classroom. Big Battle Fist. So I figured out, I've been thinking about it lately, how to do it, to give her the fist. And there's actually a Marvel Legends character that is relatively similar and has the ability for me to give her regular arms and a big ass hand, a big ass fist, and make them swappable. So if you know what that figure is, kudos to you. So yeah, I will be doing Battle Fist at some point and having that feature. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Other than that, I've been saving pieces to do All Might. I don't know if I'm going to do it anymore, but I've been saving the pieces for Build-A-Figures and stuff that would be a pretty well-built All Might. It's just whether or not I actually do it. I don't know yet, but I'm going to keep working on the ladies, that's for sure. And I might make Bakugo too, because he would look fine on a Spider-Man body, because since he's tall and skinny and stuff. So maybe one day. But definitely the next one is Kyoka. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys next time. Make sure you leave a like or comment, a positive comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.